Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome to the 6 o'clock news. Tonight, we have a special report from our leading reporter on one of the world's largest international organizations, the United Nations. Blaze?
Thanks, Mark. To begin, the United Nations was established in 1945 when President Franklin D. Roosevelt recognized the need for a more effective and inclusive peacekeeping organization. The UN originally comprised of the Allied forces from World War II, but it quickly expanded its membership across continents. Today, 193 out of the world's 196 countries have joined the United Nations.
And who hasn't joined?
For separate reasons, Kosovo, Taiwan, and Vatican City remain out of the United Nations.
That's unfortunate.
Indeed. So the United Nations is frequently under fire for failing to prevent international conflict, such as the Rwandan genocide in 1994 and the Bosnian genocide in 1995. On top of this, unanimous votes from major countries are required for diplomatic matters like economic sanctions and political intervention, often inhibiting the UN's ability to perform its duties. What many people do not realize, however, is that the United Nations plays a key role in promoting the development of third world countries.
How exactly does an organization like the United Nations promote development?
Go.
Well, through sub-organizations like the World Health Organization and the UN's Children's Fund, or UNICEF, the United Nations works to prevent illnesses, provide necessities, and promote human rights. Here are the facts. Through the World Health Organization, the United Nations helped eliminate deadly viruses like smallpox and polio. Through UNICEF, over 80% of children in developing countries are immunized. More than 10 billion are granted annually to projects that promote agricultural, industrial, educational, environmental development. In 2001, the World Food Program distributed over 4 million tons of food to nearly 80 million people in 82 countries. Through multiple organizations, the United Nations established sources of clean drinking water for over 1.3 billion people. Awesome.
That's incredible.
The UN also plays a key role in promoting the rights of individuals in our society. Through the International Labor Organization, the rights of workers are improved along with their working conditions. Through the International Court of Justice, international disputes are mediated so that justice can be preserved.
So basically the UN acts as the world's Supreme Court?
In a sense, yes. So back to the genocides in Rwanda and Bosnia. The UN has admitted failure in preventing these conflicts and taking the necessary peacekeeping measures. The deaths of 100,000 people in Bosnia and 800,000 in Rwanda serve as the example of the UN's inability to come together when the world needs it most. The United Nations was not entirely culpable for these genocides, but it was certainly partially responsible.
So you're saying that the United Nations is effective as a humanitarian organization, but not as a peacekeeping one?
That argument can be made, Mark, but I tend to disagree. What many people do not realize is that the United Nations set out to do what is certainly impossible: purge the world entirely of war, hunger, and disease. While it has failed, and will presumably continue to fail, it has achieved what no other global organization has done in human history. Participation is nearly 100%. Most importantly, despite nuclear proliferation and other advancements in world warfare, humans have managed to go over half a century without another global conflict.
Thanks, Blaze. That was eye-opening.
No, thank you, Mark. Reporting from Sleazy School, I'm Blaze Benedict Sebastian Clay.